everyone, welcome back to another Friday and another casual champion review. Caveman Rat! That's who we're looking at today. We're looking at Gnar, little gremlin goober guy, prehistoric yordle guy. We're playing a mid lane though, because I don't want to play top lane. That lane is for freaks and the bad word that shall not be named. I haven't really been looking forward to this one. I feel like Gnar is one of those champions that I'm just like, I guess I'll play him. He's not incredibly unfun, but it's just like kind of vanilla. I don't know how to describe it. You know what is fun though? Fan art section. Look at all these. I'm gonna turn out that emote. That's really annoying. Fan art section. Look at all these goobers. Look how amazing. There's a lot of Mega Gnar there as well. Thank you, fellas, for doing the fan art section. It does keep my spirits high for these casual champion reviews. They're amazing. So, what the fuck? This is the secret tech. This is how you know you've mastered the champion. If you can manage this, you're going places. I'm not sure how much there is to say about Gnar. His lore is very cut and dry. As far as characters and character arcs go, he's definitely on the weaker end in terms of all the Freljord champs especially. So Gnar is a prehistoric yordle who frolicked and played in the old days of the Freljord and was good friends with the Yetis, which if any of you fellas have played Song of Nunu, you might maybe find a Gnar cameo in there somewhere. He doesn't really do anything other than that. He's a hunter exhaust. And I thought I was playing the rat. Not even almost, darling. I think that speaks volumes to how impactful he is in the lore when the most important parts of his story is that he found his boomerang one day. It was just a Druvask tusk or jawbone or something. It's basically one of Sejuani's boar's friends just yoinked it like, oh boy, a bone. Oh wow, it comes back to me. Oh, wonderful. But one day the Voidborn or Watchers, don't really know what it was, but they attacked one day and Gnar left to go help his Yeti friends. And doing so, he hulked out, he rages. Which it was established a little bit earlier on that he has a bit of a temper, but it was shown in the story that he can't actually just go full mega mode into Mega Gnar form, and he's not really conscious when he transforms either. Not in the sense that like he's not thinking, but he doesn't even realize he's transformed, which I guess is kind of funny. Like to him, he's just throwing a snowball, or he thought he was throwing a snowball, but he's just throwing this giant boulder. He's not really aware that he's now this giant beast. Oh, that I don't get why that works. Why can my W go off even when I'm like mid transformation back in? I hit her with invisible arms. But you fellas know how the story goes. Lysandra, in an attempt to trap the Watchers forever, or at least for as long as she can, takes all the true ice magic from the Yetis and from the surrounding area and kills everybody, including her sisters. But it doesn't kill Gnar, it just encases him in ice, which I think in the old lore, it was just Anavia doing it herself to protect him. But in the new lore, it's kind of collateral damage. And then many thousands of years later, Gnar is awoken, or he thaws out or something, and now he's just a caveman in the modern era, kind of fascinated with everything, all these modern things. There's no technology. He hasn't been to Piltover yet. That might be a fun story. What if Gnar goes to Piltover? And that's kind of it. That's kind of a bit of a dead end. He doesn't really go anywhere. He hasn't really done much of anything else. I mean, he did have a little short story with Rengar ages ago where Rengar kind of underestimates him, where Gnar transforms into his Mega Mode and oh no, oh, he's actually a big scary monster. Ooh. Other than that, Gnar hasn't really done much of anything of any significance. Even in the story where he's there with Lysandra, he threw a boulder. That was it. That's about as much narrative weight as he has. Unfortunately, though, I think that's just because he's a product of the time. When he released was a bit before the big lore retcon that was happening. It was starting to happen around that the year that he did with Azir and stuff, but it was when Aesol came out that the big lore retcon stuff really started to take swing. And unfortunately, when Gnar released, what a yordle was still kind of undefined. So they could make these random prehistoric yordle and say, yeah, sure, it's a prehistoric yordle, and no really questions. But nowadays, it's not really sure how this guy fits. Ouch. It's not really sure how Gnar fits into the modern universe, especially like if he's a prehistoric yordle, but he was around in the olden days of the Freljord. That means that like Lysandra is prehistoric, which, unless Gnar lived for like several thousands, like tens of thousands years before then, but then he still acts like a child, so I don't It's very confusing. Legends of Runeterra didn't really help much either when they released them into the game, because they introduced a whole bunch of other prehistoric Yordles. And like, okay, how are they here? Gnar's only alive because he was encased in ice. Well, it turns out time works a bit differently in Bandle City, so some of the prehistoric Yordles and prehistoric creatures of Bandle City just live in Bandle City in the modern era. So now you have like the modern Yordles and the caveman Yordles existing side by side, which as implication of that is already weird. But if time exists differently, shouldn't there be like future Yordles? Or something like jetpack, like sci-fi Yordles then, huh? If time works differently? I think just trying to work a prehistoric Yordle into the mix, just, it feels weird. He feels like he doesn't really have a proper place in Runeterra, that it's more of an aesthetic thing than actually fitting him properly into the game. Exhaust! Actual rat. So I don't know. I don't know how they'd fit Gnar properly into the universe of Runeterra. He just feels kind of out of place. A bit like Fizz in a way, where they try to make a new version of the Yordle species, but don't properly find a way to flesh it out and feel natural. I don't know. As far as we know, there's just a caveman Yordle species, I guess. I think it would probably make more sense if he was frozen long before Lysandra. Like, if he was frozen around the time that Ornn and Volibear were doing their shtick. But being around since Lysandra, I don't know. It's hard to find the idea of a prehistoric Yordle believable. I would like the idea of having a more prehistoric world, like a special pocket dimension in Bandle City where all these prehistoric creatures are. Oh shit, I can jump over my own minions. Because I am a... I remember seeing a meme where it was like, 12-year-old boys will pick one of these 3 things, and it was like trucks, spaceships, and dinosaurs. And like 12-year-old boys will pick one of these 3 things and base their entire personality around it, and that is so true. And for me, like, I was a dinosaur kid, so I love me some prehistory. So I feel like that would impact my enjoyment of Gnar even more, but he just kind of feels, again, out of place. It'd be like if there's just a random normal Velociraptor or normal T-Rex. Like, would I like that? Yeah, but it feels out of place. I've been talking more about the minutia of how Gnar fits into this world, but as a design, I think he's good. He doesn't wow me. I mean, he's cute. He's supposed to be a cute little gremlin guy. He's got the little skull hat. He's got the tusks. He's got the bone weapons. He's all fluffy and scruffy and loincloth and stuff. It's like tried and true. What would you expect a caveman-looking Yordle to look like? And Gnar kind of fits that bill. Although he has a tail, which I don't think any other Yordle species, or like any other Yordle in general, does, right? Like, he's the only one with a tail. I think that's probably to add, like, oh yeah, prehistoric, because when humans were monkeys, monkeys had tails. The Mega Gnar form's kind of good, though. Look at this guy. Big Hulk. Tusks are more exaggerated, arms bigger. I don't know how to describe it anything other than good. He is a little gremlin guy, exactly what you would expect from a caveman Yordle. He doesn't really wow me besides that. Though I do like the blue on him. I think the blue is a great way to visually combine the Mega mode and the normal mode together, where like he has these little accents of blue on his tail and on his ears, so when he goes into Mega mode, he has those same accents on him despite changing color everywhere else, so you can still immediately recognize that it's him. Apart, of course, like, he still has the little hat on when he goes Mega mode as well. I feel like I'm struggling to think of anything to say about this guy, because I feel like a lot of other champions we've talked about, at least with like Garen, there is some clear visual identifiers for what inspirations he provided to the Runeterran universe, but Gnar is kind of, he's weird. He exists in his own separate vacuum, so when you think of like, oh, he's just a caveman Yordle, yeah, that's kind of where he starts and ends. He hasn't really evolved beyond that. He doesn't really have any connections with other champions. Like, he's interacted with Rengar once. I'm shocked him and Nunu haven't had anything together. Damn it. Oh, I missed the angle. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh shit. Oh, fuck. Yes, one less monster, Vayne. This is going surprisingly well, though. I'm already, like, at my wit's end of what to say. Never mind that I'm actually considering buying wit's end. But I'm at my wit's end of what to say about Gnar, gameplay and design-wise, because he is very cut and dry. He's very straight to the point. what you see is what you get. But it's not in a kind of fun to talk about way with Garen, where Garen's kind of boring as shit, or something like Darius, where there's actual lore implications to his design and how it impacted Noxus, or really interesting designs like Fiddlesticks, or really awful ones like Corki. Gnar's just... he's good. On the topic of his gameplay, I feel like it's kind of weird because he used to be a pro play staple. I don't think I've seen him at all this Worlds. Has he been played at all? I'm not sure. I haven't seen him in Worlds very often, but he was always a pro play staple because he was very safe in lane. But back when teleport could be used, you know, at any time in the game, people could just go mega mode, teleport in, and then do your big ult, because your ult is very strong. I never understood why he was so valuable in pro play. I guess the team coordinated big AoE crowd control ults is pretty good. Other than that, though, he's not exactly a difficult champion. Watch this backwards boomerang. I'm not supposed to move when I do it. Well, that is a fun mechanic. The boomerang is pretty fun. Like, I just shoot out my boomerang. Wah! It just comes right back to me. Like, that's kind of cool, and I can catch the boomerang. It gets a refund and cooldown if I catch it. Wah! And then... that's a very satisfying move. But really, like, Mini Gnar is just auto attacks. He has boomerang and an auto attack, but then he goes the mega mode and has all these crazy CC combos. You can organize them together properly to get a really effective and satisfying flow of abilities. If you think about it, though, Gnar's conception is really quite evil. Oh. And there, a boulder. And then, why are you not dead? Why would you dash back into me? If you think about it, Gnar's conception of a champion is really evil. They're like, okay, so what if we took Quinn and everything people hated about her with like a mobile marksman top laner, and then also made him have like juggernaut level crowd control and damage, and like, okay, that seems kind of unfair. And back in the old days, I say old days like season 4. Holy shit, season 4 was 7 years ago? No, longer than that. How long was season 4? We're on season, what, 14? Next year? Oh my god, it's a decade. Holy fuck, I'm ancient. Just like Gnar. And back in the day, a character like Gnar was kind of unheard of. Season 4 was really when they started to get into their experimental, wacky phase. We've seen some weird champions like Aatrox in the season beforehand, but old Aatrox was just Tryndamere with a fresh coat of paint. Gnar and Azir and Yasuo, they started to really get creative and do these really wacky ideas for all the new champions. Like Senna! Squish. Compared to modern champions now, he doesn't hold up nearly as well, but he is still a fun time. You feel like a little gremlin guy who can Hulk out. It's very good thematic fantasy, I think. Again, kind of struggling to think of what else to say about him. Maybe his skins, if I don't die to this vermin. Gnar's got a lot of good skins, I think. Off the top of my head, I can remember most of them. Like, Gentleman Gnar, awesome. I love that one. Dino Gnar is great. What else is... oh, Super Galaxy is okay. I love the Majora's Mask Elderwood skin. The new one, the La Lucian one. I'm going to say, because a lot of you fellas have been asking, I've seen the comments, like, where La Lucian Rapid Fire skin review? I was busy at the time. I had it partially scripted out. I was hoping to be able to work on it myself because my editor friend, who usually helps out with Rapid Fire skin review, was not available at the time. And then, well... I didn't actually have the time either, so I didn't really have the time to make the rapid fire skin review for that week and just decide, well, time's passed, skins are already out. I usually post the rapid fire skin review like right before the skins release, like a good like hour or two right before they release. So releasing it now, like a good like what, month and a half after they've already been out, just it's not really worth the effort. Though just for you guys, I'll give my quick little remembering first impressions, because I do have my skins tab open here. So I think my favorite out of all the La Lucian ones is probably Renata. I think Renata's is absolutely phenomenal. Actually, no, scratch that, Kiana. That's the best Kiana skin we've ever gotten. It is fantastic and wonderful. Love that one. Renata, absolutely astounding as well. Really like the Ziggs one, too. Gnar's is great as well. Draven's... and Nidalee's okay as well, though I feel it's kind of weird, like we just got a Nidalee skin, and also it feels like they're trying to put all of the Ishtal champions into a skin line pretty quickly. Like the patch right before, we got what, Street Demon Zyra and Nico and Rengar. Like we got pretty much all the Ishtal champions got a skin, within the span of a single month, minus Melio and poor Malphite, who I think most people don't even know is an Ishtal champion. But yeah, there you go. There's your rapid fire skin review of La Lucian. The skin line was fantastic. I'll probably talk about at least some of them. What the hell? At least some of them when we do the best, worst, and missed potential skins. Holy shit. Best, worst, and missed potential skins of 2023 at the end of this year. I think that's kind of all I have to say about Gnar. I think final closing thoughts. He's good. He's exactly as advertised. You see a prehistoric Yordle who is a ranged top laner who can turn into a melee bruiser, and you get exactly that. There's not really any deep nuances. He just exists to be a cute little gremlin caveman guy, and he does that job well. I wouldn't really be excited to see Gnar as like the main character of any kind of game. I think having him as a cameo in Song of Nunu kind of does justice to how impactful his character is in the wider aspect of Runeterra, but other than that, he's good. I like him. Seems like the game is finally ending at last, and oh, I think I probably said it a couple times that like they treat Gnar kind of like a joke, that he's like a little, you know, grumpy little caveman rat. But next week we get to talk about an actual joke, like you, Kaisha, die. We get to talk about Gragas, which, oh boy, I'm not looking forward to that one. So fellas, I'll see you next week with a big fat drunk man, and I'll see you next time, alright?